The world needs to overcome bias. This video was conceived, written, and produced by youth from around the world.
We asked youth from different parts of the world to react to a video about how biases are formed. The video shows how people move up the ladder of inference, moving from what they see or hear to assumptions and eventually actions.
How do different people react to the same thing based on their biases and beliefs? Watch how Antonella from Ecuador and Ezgi from Turkey go up the ladder of inference as they react to the same dog. Antonella and Ezgi had the same exact information in front of them when they first saw the dog.
This dog had the most beautiful pattern on its fur and the most caring expression. From afar, it almost looked as if it was smiling.
The dog in front of me had these huge muscles and messed up ears. I swear I could hear him growling from the other side of the street.
This instance with Ezgi and Antonella is actually very similar to what humans do with different races, and how some people will look at a certain race and immediately connect certain features with negative connotations.
Really unfortunate that it's in the nature of humans to judge people in the first instance they see each other by just their physical appearance.
What a cutie! I just wanted to run up and rub its belly.
It looked so scary, and I just knew that those ears were bitten off in a fight that he was in, and I could tell he could bite me if I got close.
So to see that displayed in a video like this, it's really interesting when you get to think about it, because you could have assumptions about people that you don't even know. You've just seen them on the street, you know.
This is where it gets kind of problematic, when people make assumptions, like in situations involving actual people, when people make assumptions about others solely based on previous beliefs.
This dog was definitely friendly.
This dog was definitely dangerous. Now they've drawn a broad conclusion about the dog. Conclusions that will affect how they interact with this dog and others like it.
Well, I think I never realized how full of bias we are.
People do that a lot and discriminate against certain people based off of what they've heard and not what they've seen. So
you get the same information, you get the same person, you judge the book, then you come up with assumptions because it's what you feel personally, when it's not like that.
My cousin also has a sweet pit bull. It is always so playful and fun.
I've heard so many stories about people getting attacked by pit bulls, and people train them to be vicious fighters.
When you stick to a bias, or when you believe a bias, it gets in the way of you learning for yourself and you educating yourself about the bias and where it came from and why it is all over the media or something like that. So it's really important for you to learn for yourself and not make assumptions based on biases that you see.
I decided to walk up to its owners and ask if I could pet it.
So what I did is I decided to cross the street to avoid the dog. Even when two people are exposed to the same exact information, the way they make sense of it can be totally different, and their biases can get in the way of getting more complete information.
Don't make assumptions based on what you see is basically the whole message, which is really important when you apply it to people having biases against other people, which is just how conflict forms and how hatred spreads everywhere.
Yeah, actually, I guess when we know how they're formed, we can take logical actions towards them.
How does overcoming bias help us to celebrate differences?
we basically accept the thing that we might have a bias against as it is. So it could be a culture, it could be a race, it could be basically this dog. But if we accept it, we also celebrate the differences that we have.
I believe like overcoming our biases have a huge role on us to welcome different people from different social backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, and enjoy and enjoy those differences and have a better life.
Be more united rather than dividing ourselves amongst certain opinions we have of each other, and actually interact with one another and form our opinions based off of that interaction.
So when you take biases out of the way, you change your view to the differences and how you perceive them, and that kind of lets you see the beauty in the differences and how we, with our differences, complement each other.
We can connect with each other on a deeper level when we don't think of the biases that originated like years and years ago. And instead, we can come together and, be educated and love each other for who we are and for our differences and for, what makes us unique.
Stop judging the book by its cover and actually get into it first.